My name is Abraham Great and welcome again to this platform. Here you will learn tips that will help you connect the dot. Destiny dot, family dot, business dot, political dot. But these tips has the proclivity to move you into action. You will have to do something about it. You have to do something to effect a change in your own life or around you. And these tips are working. So it is working. Let's talk about the mind of a critic. So one of the things that you will face most in your life is the fact that you will hear and see a lot of critics criticizing you, criticizing other things. There is polarity in the world that we live today. How do critics become such a powerful voice over our lives and minds? It begins in our childhood. As children, our minds were clearly left to the mercy of domesticated adults who used to tell us what to think. The rule books, wrapped our mold, and our character were shaped by these elders and adults. Most, they projected us their own thinking. They seldom allow us to think. But as children, we have the innate desire to please or to be please or to be accepted or to be approved or to be celebrated or to be encouraged or to be loved or to be understood. Everybody, our desire to seek approval was ingrained in us before we ever had a strong opinion of the business of that transpired in this world. Before we ever even know what a thing is, sometimes we give that thing a definition. As a child, sometimes they ask you, what is this? They ask you, what is this? And you are able to give it a definition. You can call it anything, and it may be. This habit marked the beginning of the reign of the critical mind, where somebody tell you this is what this is, and then you begin to query it. No, that is not it. Nobody taught us how to lie. For the first time, when we are in a situation of danger or we're being criticized, we feel emotionally disturbed. Sometimes people lie. As we become adults, that voice of that approval voice inside of us as children had become the voice of our mind. After a while, they said, she has a mind of her own, or he has a mind of his own. The voice that has been known, or that you've been listening from inside of your inner voice, creates your own joy, creates your fears, your capabilities, and that also hides your darkest and deepest secret, your mind. And in your mind, even a good person, you can begin to criticize. Sometimes people mean well, but you begin to criticize them because it is known everything about us. This mind knows everything about you, and although it does not know about many people, sometimes our mind will tell us that we know so much about many people. Now, let me show you how the mind of the critics actually works. In a lot of the ways, the mind of the critics is formed by the critics' expectation. So a lot of the time, people have expectation of you. People have expectation of government. People have expectation of leaders. So they begin to form critics. One of it is that we expect that our country leaders should at least provide us the basic amenities of life, like water, like electricity, like shelter. And when we do not have that, our mind knows that yes, these things is our right. We're supposed to have them. Our minds know that a lot of us are paying tax and we're supposed to enjoy it. It is why thinking negativity or negatively or talking negative about yourself come very easy, because sometimes you have expectation of yourself. And it is not easy when things are not going the way you want it to go for you to remain positive. A lot of the time you screwed yourself. But most people who live are more lenient on themselves than they are on other people. That's the added disadvantage. It's easy for you to be critical of other people than of yourself. You'll be a harsh critic of others normally, always criticizing other people. Now, a lot of us, we do not know that what we forgave ourselves for, or what we seek forgiveness for or understanding for, they are worse than most things that we criticize other people for. We don't allow every other people to cut a tie. We just criticize them very easily because it's easy to criticize. The mind of criticizers or the critics have an expectation, and when things do not turn out the way they want it to be, they become critics. And we all criticize. We criticize our parents, we criticize our government. You withdraw and stay silent sometimes from absorbing words. Sometimes when people become people you criticize, maybe they are close to you, sometimes you just withdraw from them. You don't want to hear from them. And this happens between parents and children. Sometimes a child can become withdrawn because this child already felt that my parents are my critics. Parents criticize me. Now, if there is a huge level of emotional intelligence that have stepped into your life, some people will actually embrace critics. They see the mind of the critics as the mind of their developer or someone that is being placed in their life to refine them. They will go to these people and seek more critics who tell me, is my dressing okay? Or tell me, have I spoken right? Tell me, dad, mom, or friend, my approach to that thing, was it good? You seek to please your mind by persuading your mind to accept the critics and to accommodate every kind of change that there can be. And this will improve you as a person. The next thing I want you to understand about the mind of the critics is that the mind of the critics is most time is ignorant, even though portraying so much knowledge about what they criticize. Now, nobody knows enough of the next person, but the little we know, we can capitalize on it to criticize. Criticism should be based on data, proven data. That you have the data, you have the evidence for you to be able to say, oh, this person was supposed to give us yellow. What they've given us is blue. Here is the policy, or here is the rule that say this is what they ought to give us. But when you are a critic, you also be able to hear other people's opinion, to just explain themselves. Just give it a chance that maybe, just perhaps, maybe you might be wrong. You become mean, you become angry, you become hostile because of the word that hurts you a great deal, while projecting your anger to about the people who did these things to you. You are mean, you are angry that somebody has misinterpreted you. And it's in the same vein, you ought to receive, you have to think about life the same way. When you criticize other people, you've got to understand that it hurts. But we can all live in a life where we grow to understand situation and people even more. The greatest is, the critics can be tamed. You can tame your critical mind. You can decide to stand up, to it and say to myself, you know what, I'm no longer going to be a bully. I'm not going to bully other people. I'm going to give people a chance. Just give a chance that you may be wrong. You may be wrong and the other people might be right. And sometimes if people are wrong, they might not be entirely wrong. They might not be entirely intentional about their wrong. Give people a chance. Develop a mind that is positive. Develop a mind that is looking for resolution. Maybe I'll end with this. Develop such a mind that understand the person is different from the situation. What the person did and who they are two separate things. I know that our world teaches us to merge it together. Somebody may lie, it does not mean that they're a liar. The situation may just have been too hard. Unless they're doing that thing consistently as a lifestyle, what they did once or twice may not define their entire life. Give it a chance and be of a positive mind towards other people. And you know what? Life is a seed. Whatever you sow, when you learn to be appreciative of other people and learn to tone down on the critics on other people, you will develop the capacity to see things more intelligently, and you can analyze situation in a better way, which will grow you maturely, and you can be a more positive person, giving out a positive aura, and you'll be a good person, and it comes back to you. The same measure, people will begin to understand you and make excuses for you. Guess what? It is working. Please click on the subscribe button for more videos from Abraham Great. It is working.